The Pequot people were burned alive in the middle of their sleep at night.
There was never a Thanksgiving dinner with them, according to what they say.
Yeah, I'm about to expose every lie they done told, like how they trafficking kids and why they ain't got a soul. They feeding off our energy, trying to destroy the globe. They got weather control, they even making it snow. But we can't run from it, gotta grab it by the antler.
Let me tell y'all something. I am a firm believer in, not celebrating these holidays, man. I've come to that point, right? And that's because we don't truly know what it is that we're celebrating and what it is that we're giving our energy to. Okay? And so this video right here is going to be very, very telling. Very telling. Okay? But I will say this, man. I want to say I cannot confirm whether or not anything that's about to get ready to be said in this video, but I will ask, okay, that you use discernment when dealing with the information, man. I believe that what these two videos is about to give you, man, look, it should be every reason for you not to celebrate Thanksgiving anymore, right? And so with that being said, let's go ahead and just jump into this video and see what it is that these two, have to say.
If you want to talk about how Thanksgiving came about.
I do want to talk about it. First of all, you got to remember, my dear brother, that's history, his story. It's not our story. When they proclaimed Thanksgiving, it was in Mystic, Connecticut, a tribe of Indian people, the Pequots, that were thriving and surviving. But shortly after, we taught these white people how to farm and how to take care of the land and raise food. They got beside themselves. A few years after they started prospering, they decided that they were going to take their women and their children out to a big field and have a cookout celebration. No Indians brought deer. There was never a Thanksgiving dinner with them, according to what they say. Not true. The celebration of Thanksgiving was the men walked off from their families and went further north into Mystic, Connecticut, and he murdered these Pequot Indian children, elders, women, and men. Got them in the enclosure of their habitat. They had built forts, per se, but that was only for the protection of their people. And they trapped them in where they couldn't get out, and they set it on fire, and they burned them to death.
And see, this is what they don't want to teach you in school. This is the dark side, bro. It's sick. They give you the happy, and that just gives you that mentality too, right? Because they want to give you their false reality, the sick story from their perspective. To even teach that side gives you that mentality. Y'all drop them names if y'all agree.
Then they came back. They were so thankful that they had killed these Indians. But that was the first Thanksgiving. Not what you read about in their books.
It wasn't until when President Lincoln decided, instead of having it every other day when they were going to different tribes, killing them, that he decided to make it once a year, a day of Thanksgiving once a year.
True. But let me tell you about President Lincoln. Because Indians to Dakota, and Dakota Indians wouldn't give up. These are the people from Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota, up in that area. They were fighting, and they captured in excess of 200 of them. And they wanted to hang them all. But Lincoln intervened, and he said, no, I don't want you to hang them all. Pick 38 of them. And that's how they came up with the Mankato 38.
Now look, what did he say? That's how they came up with because in the numerology of 38 equals to murder. Y'all drop them names, man.
That was the largest mass hanging ever in this country.
The Pequot people were burned alive in the middle of their sleep at night. In 1637, Mass Bay Colony, Plymouth Colony, Providence Plantation, Mystic Seaport, all English colonies banded together to burn women and children while they slept in a village at night. They barricaded the exit. They did not allow anyone to leave. They wanted them to burn. They were proud that they burned. This country was proud to write. We could smell their burning, rotting flesh for over a mile away. It's written, folks. Please read it on your own. I am not making this up.
Wow. They celebrated the smell of your flesh burning in the air, y'all. And that's why they sat down and ate. To celebrate the annihilation of a culture, of a species, man, of a group of people. If you don't think, if you want to celebrate this, bro, there's something wrong with you, bro. Look.
Stephen King can't make this up. He was so proud, the town of Norwich, Connecticut, had a statue honoring this man up until roughly a decade ago. John Mason, the man who murdered over 700 people. When anyone, the few people who were able to survive that Holocaust, they were rounded up. They were sold as slaves. Before they were sold, they were marched all the way from Connecticut to Mass Bay Colony, present-day Boston. They were placed on trial. They were declared to be sold as slaves. But before they sent them on that slave ship, they had to humiliate them some more. And they read a declaration that those people shall not ever, once again, even utter the word Pequot. They will no longer be able to call themselves a Pequot. I am proud to say, I'm a Mashantucket Pequot. This is the history, folks. Because that particular day, that particular incident, is when this country declared its second religious day of Thanksgiving. This is what we're celebrating, folks. And for all of you who took pictures of me with my nice little pilgrim head buddy here, I hope you get the story that goes with it. Because anyone who sees this, I'm sure, thinks I'm a sick, twisted individual. This is a reminder. This is what Hallmark greeting cards and Charlie Brown cartoons should be showing when we celebrate this holiday every year, when we celebrate Columbus Day every year. Because this is what it represented. I'm going to shut my mouth so we can get on way with this march through town, because we need all of you who are here to get this story out to the people. I can only visit so many schools in this time that I am here on this earth. And I can only visit those who are welcome to hearing the truth and invite me to do so. I encourage all of you to do the same. I look out and I see in this crowd, I see some people that I've been at their schools, and they are here now, standing in solidarity. I really appreciate this. It means they're listening. Somebody's listening, and they don't appreciate what's going on. This symbol right here, we're going to march all the way around, and we're going to make one stop at the church where King Philip's head sat on a pole until it rotted for over 20 some odd years. For those of you who do not know who King Philip was, he was the man who started the most patriotic uprising this country will ever see, when its native people stood against these forces. And this manner of warfare during King Philip's war, when King Philip abducted Mary Rawlinson, she reported in her own writings she was treated with far greater respect by this savage than she was by her own people. Our women were topless. There was no rape. We did not need abortions. The word matumwasus is what we call our women. It does not mean woman. It means she who makes all decisions. We had a high respect for our women. That was something Pilgrims never understood and still does not translate into America today. Square buildings that cost us so much to heat, to build, to cool, because we're sheltering ourselves from what's going on in the natural world. I've never seen a bird build a square bird's nest. That is the most absurd thing, and Americans still repeat this European nonsense. When are we going to come up and show the rest of the world what should have always been there when we first tried to get our teachings across in the 1600s? Listen to us. We're not saying we're better. We're just saying this works in nature.
I love that, man. I love exactly what he said, bro. Okay? We have to understand, bro, that everything is about balance to begin with. All right. But with that being said, I want you guys to really know that this is deeper than what you think it is. Okay. See, they give you a false history of it with the intentions of celebrating it every year, because then it becomes a ritual. I want you to understand that we're dealing with a group of species that are heavily embedded in magic. All right. So everything that they do surrounds rituals. Okay. And so you have to understand, you celebrate this ritual every day to give it energy and feed these beings. You give it energy, bro. Every time that you sit down and you celebrate it, bro, the fact that they slaughtered a mass group of individuals, them being your people, right? And then sat down at a table to celebrate the fact that they could smell your flesh burning from miles away. Let's think about that for a minute. Let's think about that for a minute. I believe it's necessary that, you know, we begin to change the things we put our energy in. And the only way that we're ever going to start to do that is going to be to get the right knowledge. And this is a part of that right knowledge, y'all. You know, I'm so proud to see that there's more people, right? And this is a very old video, y'all. I just wanted to bring this up here because I feel like it's so many people that say, hey, we want to celebrate this because, you know, it's a celebration of family getting together, so on and so forth. But you don't understand what you're still giving your energy to on a well, I wouldn't say a day-to-day basis, but, you know, when you celebrate this festivity, you may think, okay, well, it's a celebration of family, but they did it for these specific reasons. And as he said, you know, after that, they humiliated them more by putting them on the slave trade. So they sold them, okay? And you know, that further goes on to validate the fact that your ancestors, okay, your ancestors were not slaves, but they were prisoners of war. Y'all drop them names, man. I want y'all to drop in the chat, say, look, my ancestors was not slaves, but prisoners of war. Y'all drop prisoners of war in the chat, man. I need you to understand that, bro. Put that in your vocabulary. Don't speak that over yourself anymore. We understand that words are spells. And with them, we speak spirits over ourselves and others. All right. So, yeah, you know, I'm hoping that, you know, this message reaches somebody, you know, that needs to hear it. And it resonates with them in the right way. All right. But with that being said, man, y'all make sure y'all get over to YouTube. Follow me on I Am Awaken. I Am Awaken. I'm most definitely going to be cutting up over there, y'all. Also, don't forget to go to Instagram and follow me at I Am Awaken _chosen one, all right? And I just want to leave y'all as I came. I want you guys to always be aware, because to be aware is to be alive. And as always, peace, family. Peace meaning positive energy always creates elevation. Ashe.